How do we know what's true? Over the course of human history, our understanding of what's true has been in a constant state of evolution, often transitioning between different shades of gray. So how do we know when we're right? The answer is we don't. We can't. Even when we think we see something firsthand, it may not be as it appears. And we can't always trust other people's testimony for the same reason. But we've got to believe something, right? Of course. The key is being mindful of assumptions. We build our whole world perspective on assumptions. For example, I assume that because the vast majority of people I speak to, as well as the vast majority of books and media that I consume, all agree that the Earth is round, that the Earth is, in fact, round. I also assume that polar bears live in the Antarctic, and that humans descended from apes. I have no first-hand experience to back up these assumptions, but I have what I think to be a sufficient amount of second and third-party data to assume that they are probably true. In some cases, I hold assumptions that are supported by my own experiences, such as that drinking water is beneficial for my health. When I don't drink water for a while, I feel lightheaded and weak. And when I do drink a good amount of water, I feel well nourished. Not to mention, there seems to be a consensus amongst the rest of the world that water is good for me. But what if tomorrow the scientific community came to a new consensus? That drinking water actually slowly kills us, and that if we instead drank grass smoothies, we would live 5 times longer and be 10 times healthier. I would, of course, be very skeptical of this news. But I would at least entertain the possibility. Because what if it was true? To help us develop the assumptions that found our opinions and perspectives, we must seek sources that seem credible. But most importantly, we must remain open to the possibility that the truth might be a shade of gray in between what we believe and what someone we disagree with might believe. I believe that the most trustworthy sources are those that embrace the possibility that they could be wrong.
I don't know the answer. Sometimes life is like this dark tunnel.
Anyone who is overly confident that they are 100% right is almost 100% ignorant in some way, or has some underlying agenda to convince you that they are trustworthy. At the end of the day, I believe our objective as a society must be to pursue truth, no matter how inconvenient or uncomfortable the implications may be. What if we'd rejected the discovery that excessive sun exposure causes cancer? Or that taking the time to wash our hands could prevent the spread of disease? Our assumptions are informed by what we see, hear, and feel. That means our perspectives are victim to our environments. Just because an assumption of ours is consistent with what we've seen, heard, and felt so far, doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. We must be mindful of where our assumptions come from, and that they are, in fact, just assumptions. When an assumption of ours is challenged, we shouldn't be defensive, we should be grateful. Because it means that we may have an opportunity to become more enlightened to what's actually true. And as the saying goes, the truth shall set us free.